Eloquence in Qur'an? Muslims see the Qur'an eloquence, depth and consistency over 23 years of revelation as proof that it was not a human creation but a divine revelation. Okay, so this is a comment by Samuel Matt 0020, and yeah, it is about his argument with regard to eloquence in the Qur'an. So let's read through. Qur'an eloquence limited to Arabic language. So if you argued if Qur'an is a miracle due to its eloquency, then this eloquency is limited to Arabic language only. So when you translate the Qur'an to any other language, the Qur'an is not divine because it lost its eloquency. Yeah, that's why when its translation is not considered the Qur'an, is considered the translation. Yeah, because the meaning can be translated but the miracle cannot, basically, right? Why the final message from God to mankind is depend on Arabic language only to who? What is this? Why the final message from God to whole mankind, I assume, is depends on Arabic language only to whole. Okay, I assume there's some typo here, but I think he's questioning why it depends on that language. Okay, so number one, if you are saying that the Quran eloquency is the only sole indicator or sign that the Quran is a miracle hands from God, then you might have a point in the sense that, oh, so everyone have to go to Arabic and then the sign is not available to everyone. But if the point is that is one of the many miracles of the Quran, many signs of that is from God, divine origin, then if one of the sign is quite exclusive in a certain way, it is not inherently a problem, right? So that's my response to this. For example, if we translate Torah or Gospel in any other language, it's equally divine. Okay, you are talking about your belief, right? Because if you are talking about Torah and Gospel in the current Bible, I would question why is it divine to begin with. Yeah, is it totally by faith? Because how why is, okay, for example, why is the 4 Gospels written by the 4 authors is considered divine? Because many Christians says that it is accounts of Jesus, meaning that they observe eyewitness, etc. Right? So if you're saying that the Gospel is written from the eyewitness account of Jesus, observing Jesus, why is that divine though? Why is eyewitness account that observe Jesus is somehow divine? Why? So of course it's not, this example doesn't translate, right? Like in Hebrew or Greek language used, okay, so unless you are, yeah, because the Torah and Gospel do not even claim to have any eloquency, right? So that's why the translation is not even a problem. But why Allah want us to learn Arabic to understand His final message when only a handful of people speak and know Arabic? Okay, several things. You can actually learn the language, right? Like I learned English to be able to communicate here, right? So that's not a problem. That's number one. If you want, you can. And many people have gone to learn Arabic language, either because they are Muslim or some Orientalists do it as well, right? So if you want to learn, you can learn. That's number one. Number two, if you to understand, because this is different thing, understanding the final message and eloquency is two different things. That's why many people who read the translation of the Quran in English, in whatever language, in Chinese, in Korean, etc., can actually find the message and understand the message and becoming Muslim, and follow the teaching, because those message, the meaning of the message can be translated, no problem. But when we're talking about eloquency, that's totally different thing. Right? When you say the eloquency, you cannot argue this is a product of human being. That's totally different case to say that this, to be able to understand the message, you have to go to Arabic. That's two different argument or point. So hopefully you do not mix the two together, because we are talking about Quran eloquency as, because you mentioned proof that it was not human, right? So in that context, this is irrelevant, meaning that to understand the message is different point than to prove this is not from human origin. If the Quran is translated into non-Arabic language, it will lose its eloquency, inimitability. The inimitability is intended for itself. It is permissible to translate the meaning without being literal. Okay, so this is a quotation something. But yeah, I think in this paragraph, I think you tried to put a good point, but I think you mix up two different unrelated things. One is, can we understand the message from translation? That's one thing. One is, can the eloquency be translated? That's two different things, right? Okay. Quran eloquency can be recreated. There's a book in Arabic language through Furqan created in similar eloquency. Okay, how do you say it is similar eloquency? That's your claim, right? And similar linguistic style as the Quran by few Christian Arabs and narrated by Anis Soras. Though I am not expert in Arabic language, but you can read and verify yourself about the Quran challenge of recreating one surah. All Islamic scholars also don't believe Quran can be recreated. Ali Dashti, the famous Iranian Arab scholar, I'm not familiar, has the following say: neither the Quran eloquence or nor its moral precept are miraculous. Okay, is this, because when you say Iranian Arab, is he a Shia or someone? Because I'm not familiar with this name. Okay, but anyway, I have heard of this, but interestingly here, you are arguing that it is similar eloquency. So that is interesting claim to me. Interesting claim. Earlier in the book, he discussed the case of other scholars who shared his point of view, such as the blind Syrian poet Abu Alla al-Ma'ari, who Dashti described as differently as a great penetrating Arab thinker, a great university and my professor. Okay, this is some quotation. This man considered some of his own work to be on par. So he personally think that is on par with Quran. Interesting. If his evaluation of the facts is faulty, who then is not a man of his learning? Okay, so you believe that he is, okay, number one, this person was because it was this Dashti guy that vouched for this guy, right? So I'm not sure this guy, who this guy is, so I don't even know what level of merit that this guy get from this guy, right? And because this guy himself is saying that what his work is on par with the Quran, so I cannot say anything with regard to the guy because I'm not familiar and I have never heard of this. Indeed, even Muslim scholars in that age do not believe that the Quran was untouchable in literary excellence. Okay, who says this? Here is the quote from Dashti. So again, this is from Dashti, the same guy, right? And you say Iranian Arab scholar. Okay, I have to search for him afterwards, because if he's a Shia, then Shia believes so many weird things. So from the get-go, I just ignore that. But if he is not a Shia, then that is interesting. Anyway, so I haven't commented to this, but because this is with regard to the eloquence, and he tried to argue that something can actually imitate the eloquence of the Quran. and someone have vouched for it, but there's only one name here, and I'm not sure who he is. Let me go to, because assuming something can be, some resources can be pulled in by ChatGPT, so I asked ChatGPT with regard to the eloquence, right? So I asked, and this is the answer, right? The Qur'an eloquence in the Islamic tradition. In classical Islamic thought, the Qur'an is described as having an ijaz al-Qur'an. So an ijaz, the inimitability of the Qur'an. So that's the translation, right? These doctrines hold that the Qur'an's linguistic style, eloquence, rhetorical power, and depth of meaning are beyond human capacity, right? So if can all of those exist simultaneously in something that is verbally, transmitted? It's not like there's drafting process, etc., right? No poet, orator, or writer in Arabic before, during, or after the Prophet Muhammad SAW has been able to produce a work equal to it. This belief is tied to Quranic verses such as Qur'an Surah number 2 verse 23. And if you are in doubt about what we have sent down upon our servant, which is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then produce a surah like the thereof. But if you do not, and you will never be able to, then fear the fire. Okay. Features of Quranic eloquence. Scholars and linguists have identified several aspects that distinguish the Quran style. Unique structure. Neither poetry or shi'ir nor prose. I'm not familiar with this one. But a rhythmic, highly elevated style of its own. Balance of brevity and depth. Few words carry vast layered meanings, sound harmony, internal rhymes, assonance, and rhythm that works across entire passages. Imagery and metaphor, powerful rhetorical devices, often unmatched in pre-Islamic or later Arabic literature. Shift in pronouns and tenses, sudden transitions that enhance intensity, which would normally be seen as flaw in rhetoric, but in the Quran are considered as artistic strength. Universality of themes, guidance, law, theology, spiritual, moral parables, woven seamlessly in a single text. Okay, so when all of this, come together and you notice it, that kind of thing is what we can say that how can this humanly possible to become the entire of Quran when you can observe that, right? Attempts to replicate the Quran. Throughout history, there have been attempts to imitate or rival the Quran, but none gained serious recognition among Arab literary experts. Example: Musaylima, a false prophet in Muhammad's time. Okay, this is Musaylima al-Kazzab, right? He tried composing verses, but they were considered childish and even mocked by Arab at the time. Alright, so those Arab at that time can recognize that this is childish. Modern attempts. Some individuals or groups have produced pseudo-Qur'ans like Furqan al-Haq. I think this is one that was mentioned just now. Is it Furqan? He said True Furqan. Yeah, I think that's the Furqan al-Haq is translated as True or Furqan, right? But Arabic linguists, including non-Muslim scholars, generally consider this stylistically weak compared to the Quran. Okay, so when you say that the true Quran created in similar eloquence and similar linguistic style of the Quran, okay, are you saying that this is vouched by those who are expert in the linguistic, etc.? Because here it says, but Arabic linguists, including non-Muslim scholars, generally consider this stylistically weak compared to the Quran. Even prominent Orientalists like Theodore Noldeke, Arthur Arbery, and Montgomery Watt Though not Muslim, acknowledge the Quran extraordinary literature power and its role in transforming Arabic language and literature. Yeah, because the whole Arabic language and literature actually changed and influenced a lot by the Quran, right? Can the Quran be replicated? From an Islamic perspective, no, replication is impossible. The Quran itself stated challenges will never be able to match it. Okay, this is from faith perspective, right? From a secular linguistic perspective, a human could imitate Quranic rhythm, rhyme, or vocabulary, but reproducing the total impact, meaning that eloquence plus depth plus spiritual moral resonance plus influence has never succeeded, right? Because if you want to take one individual aspect, you can try. You say, oh, it rhymes similarly, but the meaning, the essence, the depth, etc., combine everything, then you will realize that, okay, is this even possible? The Quran is considered the text that set the standard of eloquence in Arabic. Any imitation is judged by the Quran standard, making replication structurally self-defeating. Okay. Expert consensus. Muslim scholar. The Quran eloquence is a standing miracle, divine in origin, impossible to imitate. Non-Muslim Arabist. Even if not divine, of course, non-Muslim they would have that position, right? The Quran remains the most influential, stylistically unique, and powerful text in Arabic literature. Its replication has not been achieved. Conclusion by ChatGPT. The Quran eloquence is widely regarded both inside and outside Islam as unparalleled. While imitation can capture surface features, no work has matched its literary force, rhetorical balance, or the enduring impact it has had on language, culture, and faith. Alright, so that's what was summarized by ChatGPT on this topic. I'm interested to see or to know what's your feedback after I've covered this particular comment of yours. I'm interested to cover more of your comments afterwards, inshallah. Hopefully I would have the time. Yeah, with that, thank you for watching. See you next time.